Welcome to our spring equinox practice. And no, we're not practicing outside today. It's a little too chilly, but spring is definitely on its way. You can see Beecher behind me. There he is. But anyway, today's practice, we're going to create a little bit of heat in the body, warming up the digestion and energizing for our preparation for spring. But because the spring equinox brings a balance of night and day, um, of light and darkness, we're going to try to balance the yin and the yang in our practice as well. So we're going to start out a little slower and softer and end in the same way and create heat in the body and invigoration and prana in the body in the middle of the practice. And even as we move into these more active postures, see if you can maintain your ujjayi breath and find a little bit of ease in that yin like quality, even in a more yang like pose. Yang is much more seductive, and so we're going to try to cultivate the yin even in the yang. So get ready, get your props together, see you on your mat, and we're going to start seated.
So taking a seat, welcome to our spring equinox practice, and bringing your feet out in front of you, knees bent. Begin to just sway, windshield wash your knees from side to side. Hands behind you to support you. And just start with small sways, just getting to loosen up the hips a little bit before we come into a cross-legged position. And as they loosen, you can begin to bring your outside knee to the floor and lift the chest as you inhale, knees to the side. And as you exhale, draw the chin and the belly in a little bit to center. And you might find you wiggle from side to side and have to reposition yourself. And keep lifting the heart as you inhale, knees to side. And exhale, drawing the belly in, dropping the chin. And you might begin to notice that both shins or both knees can touch the floor as you continue with your windshield washing. And then you might even begin to lift your arms. So as the knees drop to the left, lift the right arm high and open the right side body. And as knees drop right, lift the left arm high and open side body. And we'll continue like this and gradually progressing, lifting a little bit more each time as hips, side body, and arms begin to loosen up. Spine begins to become more mobile. You might even begin to press both shins into the floor and lift your hips up off the floor, starting just a little bit. And always staying at the progression that best suits you. If the next progression does not work for your body, stay with the one previous. Each time perhaps lifting the hips a little bit higher. Be mindful of shoulders and wrists. And then maybe you might even lift one shin and lift high up, lifting the hips up, really opening the front body as I'm doing in this variation here. And if that doesn't work for you, go back to both shins on the floor, lifting the hips. And then you might even progress to a variation of Wild Thing where you lift both shins, both knees up off the floor and come to the sole of your feet. Again, working with what works for you. And now we should have our hips open enough that we can come into a cross-legged position or sitting on a block or blanket. We're going to work with our breath a little bit. Taking a few breaths here. And inhale, left arm up to the sky, right hand grounded. Come back to center and over to the other side. So moving back and forth from side to side here, opening side body. And maybe taking the hand as the right hand stays grounded, drawing the head over to the left. And then as we side bend over to the left, the right arm guides the head into opening the neck to the opposite direction. And just gently moving from side to side, getting the spine and side body open here. And then coming back to center, let's work with our breath, inhaling, reaching up to the sky, intertwining the fingers and pressing palms down towards the earth. Again, inhale, reach up, palms up, intertwine the fingers and press palms down towards the floor as chin drops. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, press palms down. Release the arms out to the side. And sway from side to side, getting expansive through the chest. This time as we inhale up, press the palms down once again. Release arms out to the side and sway from side to side, reaching one side to the other, and then inhaling all the way up. Press palms down with fingers intertwined. So we're just slowly warming up the body in various ways here. Hands to the knees, begin to rock back and forth, almost as though you're doing cat-cow here. And change the cross of your legs if you have your legs crossed, and continue rocking back, rocking forward. And then see if you could make circles with your torso, keeping both sit bones ground down, and go opposite direction. Come back to center, spread your arms wide. Point your thumbs up as you draw all the other fingers into your palm. We're moving into Kapalabhati breath. Inhale, reach up, let the thumbs touch. Exhale, arms parallel. And we will begin with Kapalabhati breath. So if you remember, Kapalabhati is the forceful exhale of the breath to clear out the old, and the inhale happens on its own. If arms extended is too intense, let your hands drop to your thighs or your knees. Continue with your Kapalabhati at your pace. And then inhale, touch the thumbs above your head, look up, reach up, lengthen up. And then we're retaining the breath here, dropping the chin slightly, drawing the back of the skull back. Hold on to the top of the inhale a little bit longer if you can. And then exhale, release the arms down. Take a breath or two here with our normal belly breath, feeling the energy of everything you've done so far. We're going to do a second round. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, arms parallel to the floor, thumbs up, fingers into the palm, and begin your Kapalabhati at your rate. You should begin to feel some heat beginning to build in the body, maybe some tingling in the forehead. And then inhale, reach all the way up, lengthen up, thumbs touch, and slightly drop your chin and draw the ears back as you retain this top of the inhale. And don't force this, let this be gentle retention, not forced. Allowing the mind to begin to still here. And exhale, release the hands down. A couple normal breaths here once again. And then bring your hands to your heart center. Set an intention for our practice today. What is it you want to bring forth? What is it you'd like to bring to the foreground as we approach this balance of nature? Take a moment with your intention. Hands to forehead. And then let's make our way into tabletop for cat-cow. So let's try to connect with our ujjayi breath through the whole practice. So as you begin your cat-cow, inhaling the heart forward with your ujjayi breath, and exhaling, drawing the belly in as you curl the spine up. Moving with your ujjayi breath, your speed. And I like to stretch my hips back a little bit on my cat to bring a little more stretch into the back body, maybe even come up into your fingertips. Inhaling the heart forward in cow pose. And this time exhale back into child's pose. We'll oscillate between cow and child's pose here. Inhaling into cow pose, opening front body. Exhaling into child's pose, softening down. Inhaling cow, open the front body. And exhaling, sit bones to heels, child's pose. This time curling the toes under. And pausing here as we extend left leg straight out behind you. Toes are down on your mat here. And then we're going to lift the right knee, the right toes up off the ground. So we're getting into our core, building heat here. Keeping it lifted. And then go ahead and place it down. Lift your straight leg up off the floor if you're able. And if it's right for you, extend the right arm straight to the front of the room. Use your exhale to draw in. And your inhale to lengthen and draw out. 3 rounds like this. Moving with your breath and creating length with each inhale and curling in with each exhale. After your 3 breaths, release down. Let's prepare second side. Extend right leg out behind you, toes touching. And then we hover the left knee and shin up, just an inch or 2 up off the floor. Staying with your breath here. And then go ahead and release it down. Float your right leg up, your straight leg, and your left arm, opposite arm leg. Use your exhale to draw knee to elbow. Curl your inhale to get length and expansiveness. Exhale, draw in. 1 more round, 3 rounds in total. As you complete the exhale, release hand and knee down to the floor. Let's take a round or 2 of cat-cow, just to release any tension in the belly. And then exhale into downward facing dog. So as we move into down dog, bend your knees deeply, stay high on your toes, and draw your belly, your ribs towards your thighs and create length in the upper body. And then slowly begin to lift the knees, lift the hips, and press the thighs back. Doesn't matter if your legs are straight or not, but we're moving in that direction. And then let's inhale, left leg up to the sky, 3-legged dog. Get a nice stretch in the hips and in the groins. Come back down and let's do second side. Come back into your downward facing dog. Take an inhale, bend your knees, bottom of your exhale, step, walk, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift the heart, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bow down and rise on your next inhale, pressing into the earth. Draw into your heart center, and we take a moment's pause in our mountain pose, just connecting with that earth as we move into spring, and connecting with your breath. Couple more breaths here, really connecting with the earth energy below you and reaching up through the crown to connect with the cosmic energy above you, that sun energy above you. If you have a block handy, bring a block within reach to the top of your mat before we begin coming back into mountain pose. Sorry, I'm having to adjust so I don't hit walls. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, sit down in chair pose. Peek down at your toes, make sure you can still see your toes past your knees. Take an inhale here, sink a little bit deeper into your chair pose and draw your hands through your heart center. Now 2 options here. Bring your left hand to the block as you twist towards your right and reach right arm up. This is one variation, and try to even out your knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, sit down in chair pose. Right hand to the block. We reach left hand up, coming into our twist. And also check in with the knees. That right knee is going to want to pop forward. Exhale, both hands down to your block. Inhale, halfway lift. You can keep your hands on your block. And exhale to fold into your Uttanasana, forward fold. Release and empty thoughts into the earth. Press into the earth and rise up, circle up. Come up into mountain pose, hands at heart center. So we're going to progress with this chair pose here a little bit more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, hands to your block. And exhale, step the right foot back into a lunge position. Drop your back knee into a low lunge and inhale, reach up to the sky. Maybe even looking up, lifting up as you lengthen the heart up. Exhale, hands down to your front knee or hands to your block. Or keep hands at heart center. And then press the back knee up as you reach up and come into crescent moon. So back heel is up off the floor as we reach up. Lengthening up, lifting the heart. Exhale, hands through heart center. Now, same options as we did in our chair pose here. You can bring the right hand to the block as you reach the left hand up, coming into your twist to the left. So same thing we did in our chair pose. Or bring hands to heart center, catching that knee with the right elbow and twisting to the left. Take the variation that works best for you. Hands come down on an exhale and step forward into halfway lift, lifting the heart, lengthening the spine. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, rise all the way up, reach up, look up, and draw into your heart center. Take a moment's pause here in mountain pose. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, lengthen the heart forward as you lift, and you can have hands on block as you do this. Exhale, step the left foot back. So same thing we did on the first side. In our lunge, drop the back knee, come into our low lunge. Inhale, reach to the sky. Lengthening up, lifting the heart, lifting the gaze. Fingertips can touch or hands can be further apart. You can bring your hands to your knee as you press the back leg straight, or you can press straight at the same time that you lift the back knee up. Find your way to get into your crescent lunge. Staying here for a breath or two, and then exhale, hands to heart center. Left hand to the block. Right hand reaches to the sky, coming into our twist, or left elbow to the outside of the knee as you twist towards your right side. Again, take the variation that works for you at this point in the class. Release the hands down to the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Take a breath or two here. And then you can drop to your knees. Move your block out of the way. You can lower down to the floor, knees, chin, chest. You can lower down chaturanga, or you can lower down with half plank. Choose a variation that works for you. Lengthen the legs back as you inhale and rise up into cobra. Perhaps releasing the arms, the hands behind you, or intertwining your fingers and opening the heart a little bit more. Lengthening the legs so much that perhaps the feet float up off the floor. Keep drawing your heart forward. Perhaps you release your hands out to the side, elbows bent onto your fingertips, and lift and open the heart a little bit more, lifting and lengthening. Exhale, lower the forehead down. You can drop your hips from side to side. And then extend your left arm straight out from your shoulder. We're going to come into a front body opening. Bend the right knee, slide the knee parallel to your hip on the floor. Fingertips on the right arm, elbow is bent. And then you can roll open whatever allows your chest to open. You can keep that knee on the floor, or you can step that foot behind you as you roll open a little bit more. Again, take the variation that works for you. Staying for a couple of breaths. So we're cultivating a little bit of yin amongst our yang poses here. Come back to center, extend your right arm straight out, fingertips with elbow bent on your left hand. Slide that left knee up, knee bent parallel to your hip, And then you can roll open a little bit more, maybe even stepping the left foot behind you. Again, whatever's appropriate for your shoulders and for the tightness in the front of the chest. Find some ease in the pose. And then release to center. And press back to child's pose. Take a breath or two here. You can be real chill like Beecher. And then rise to table and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, rise up high. Inhale, we're doing this 3 times. Exhale, knee to nose, curl the spine up. Inhale, reach the right leg up, same leg, 3rd time. And this time we step it up between our hands. Pivoting the back foot down this time, we're coming in kind of a warrior 1 lunge. So bringing both arms inside that front knee, walk your hands at a diagonal as far away onto your fingertips as you can and fold forward, drawing energy into the upper body. And then we're rising into our warrior 1 position. Lifting the gaze slightly, lifting the heart with each inhale. Perhaps even inviting a short pause at the top of your inhale. Exhale, hands through your heart center, and then lifting the back heel, coming onto the back toes, back into our twist. Again, same options as before. You might bring hands to heart center. You might use your block as you did before. Release, come upright into crescent moon, hands down to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. So we're working with a lot of twists today to ignite the digestion and wring out the toxins. Left leg inhales up to the sky, 3-legged dog. Draw it into the nose as an exhale on the exhale. 3 times with your breath. Inhaling up, exhaling, drawing in, curling up. 3rd time, step it up between your hands. Pivot the back heel down, and we're coming into our warrior lunge here again. So front knees bent, we reach the upper body, the fingertips as long as we can, bringing lots of energy into the upper body, to the chest, the side body. Keep reaching, extending, bending that front knee as much as you can. And then slide it back, rise all the way into your warrior 1 position. Reach it up. Maybe invite a pause at the top of your inhales. And then hands through heart center, pivot onto the ball of the back foot. We move into our twist to the left. Catching the elbow, maybe using your block as we did the first round if you need to, if you wish to, if it feels right for you. Release the hands down, step back, downward facing dog. So you always have an option to come into child's pose when we come into down dog if you wish. This time we're exhaling to the top of the mat. Inhale to lift the heart. Exhale to fold. And inhale, we circle wide, rise high, reach to the sky. Draw to your heart. Mountain pose. Take a breath or two here. Reground into the feet. Samasti Tihi. Find your breath. Find your center. Find your intention. So from here, bring your hands to your hips, ground into the left foot as we come into tree pose, bending the right knee and finding a position for your right foot. It might be on your thigh, it might be on your shin, might be at your ankle or toes even touching the floor. Hands can be at heart center, or you might reach up to the sky, intertwining your fingers. And from tree, we're releasing into warrior 3. Either arms reaching overhead, hands at heart center, or alongside your body. From warrior 3, we step back into crescent moon, once again, still reaching up to the sky. And this time opening the arms wide as we twist towards the left. So using the twist of the belly center. Look down to the floor, release the right hand, staying in your twist down to the floor, reach the left hand up. So we're in an open, expansive twist here. Exhale, release both hands down, step to the top of your mat. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow. Inhale, rise, reach to the sky. Draw to your heart center. Come into mountain pose. And we get ready for second side of tree pose. So bringing some weight into your right foot this time, spreading the right toes wide. Bend the left knee, externally rotate, and find a spot for that foot. And perhaps you can do better than me on this side. Right foot balance is always difficult for me. Hands to heart center. Perhaps you reach up to the sky, extending index fingers up as you intertwine fingers, or even keeping your arms wide. Grounding, and then releasing that foot as we extend into Warrior 3. Keep reaching, and then step the floating foot back into our crescent moon, reaching to the sky here still. And then we open the arms wide and twist towards our right side this time, using the belly to twist right. Looking straight ahead and looking down. Left fingers touch down, block or to the mat. Right arm still reaching, expansive, up to the sky. Release both hands down, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, rise high, reach to the sky. And draw into your heart center. So we're working a bit with our balance, bringing balance into our bodies as nature comes into balance. And also that uprising energy. As the sap in the trees begins to flow and begin to draw up from their roots. So we draw up from our roots and rise up, lengthen up. So inhale, reach the arms high to the sky. Exhale, sit down. Find strength in your roots here as you continue to reach up to the sky above chair pose. Inhale, reaching up, maybe pausing at the top of your exhale as we lift the heart higher. Exhale, belly draws in. Now sinking deeper, bring your arms parallel to the floor and rise up on your toes like a drinking bird is the nickname for this pose. See if you can stay high up on your toes, extending your arms out in front of you. And then release fingertips to the floor. Uttanasana, forward fold, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step right foot back, step left foot back. Downward facing dog. Come into child's pose, stay in down dog, or flow through your vinyasa however you wish to flow. Might be chaturanga, might be knees, chin, chest. But as you rise in your back bend, stay for 3 breaths. Keep lengthening the legs, even if you're an upward dog. Keep lengthening the spine, lifting the heart, maybe pausing at the top of your inhale. And then after 3 breaths, exhale back. Downward facing dog. Take a moment's pause here. Notice. And then you can drop down to your knees, coming into Virasana, sitting on your heels. If that's not appropriate, you can also sit on a block, maybe 2 blocks, and roll your calves out to the side. And then bring your hands right into the top of the thighs and press the top of the thighs down, draw the belly in, lengthen the spine up, drop your chin. So we're going to play a little bit with a form of Agnisara, or the beginning of Agnisara. So as you exhale, draw the belly in forcefully, lengthen up and drop your chin, and then release to inhale. Come back to normal breath. We're going to do that again. You have another chance to play with it. Finding that yin and the rest in between. That calming energy. And then press down on the thighs. Exhale all the breath out and draw the belly in as much as you can towards the spine. Drop your chin. Hold the breath retention at the bottom of your exhale here as long as you can. And then release the belly before you allow the inhale to happen. Again, stay with your breath here. This is excellent for the digestion, for firing up the agni or the digestive fire and getting our metabolism going for spring. A couple breaths here, just noticing. Let's do one more round. Press the thighs down right at the groin as you exhale. Draw the belly in to the spine as much as you can, as though you're sucking your belly in. Hold that bottom of the exhale. And then release the belly. Once you release the belly, allow the inhale breath to flow in. Sit with the sensations of that. And you could do this in a chair too, if this was uncomfortable for you. You can also do this sitting in a chair if this seat does not work for you. Okay, let's release out of Virasana. You can move your block out of the way if you wish. Curl the toes under and find your way back into downward facing dog after that momentary little yin rest. Still creating heat, but in a restful way for the body. Let's inhale, left leg up to the sky. And as you exhale, step it up. Come all the way to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bow. And inhale, sweep the arms wide as you rise high, coming into mountain pose. And release the arms down. Take a breath or two. We're moving into a little more balance here shortly. Inhale the arms wide. As you exhale, wrap around your shoulders. Inhale wide, exhale wrap, and change the cross of your arms, which I think I forgot to do. But you change the cross of the arms even if I did not. Inhaling wide, and then just release the hands. So we're about to move into eagle pose next. So just take a breath or two, centering and grounding. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale, left arm comes under right. Now you can wrap around, touch opposite shoulders, press the back of your hands together, or wrap palms together. Lift your elbows parallel to the floor, lift your heart center, and then sit down in chair pose, cross left leg over right. So you might wrap that leg around your shin. You might aid your balance by touching those toes to the floor. But sit right over your hips to start, and then as you exhale, slowly begin to fold, drawing ribs to thighs, ribs to thighs, ribs to thighs. So we're compressing the belly here, we're balancing, and we're bringing some energy to the heart. Release your hands to the floor and release that top leg up into standing splits. One smooth action. So you can have both hands on the floor or on blocks. You can have your right hand on your calf. You might bring both hands to your calf, or you can do as I'm doing, flipping your fingers so they point behind you and come into balance. Release that floating leg down to the floor, come up into crescent moon. Little bit of balance challenge as we transition between these poses. Now we're coming back into eagle arms. Left arm under right once again, wrapping around, and then we're going to shift forward, maybe baby step forward back into our eagle pose. Again, do better than me. Find your balance, sit down, this time an upright eagle, and spread your wings wide, come out of your posture. Come back to mountain pose before we move into second side for the same sequence. Finding your center, finding your ground. And then inhale, arms wide. This time right arm under left as you wrap around. Lifting the heart, lifting the elbows. And then sit down into your chair pose. Right leg comes over left, either wrapping around the shin or gently touching the toes down. So all the birds are coming back from the east, from the south for spring. And so we move into our eagle pose, folding forward, ribs to the thighs. Keep folding, keep sinking. Compressing digestion, compressing the lymph nodes in the groins, staying for another breath. And then unwinding the arms, fingertips to the floor, release that leg up to the sky, standing splits. Again, hands to the mat, hands to the block, hands to your calf, or flip your fingers out behind you and walk your hands back into your standing splits, whatever variation you want to play with. For just another breath. And as we transition, bend your standing leg, slowly, gracefully place the floating leg down for crescent moon, rising up, reaching up to the sky. And then arms wide, right arm under left for eagle arms again. And gracefully as you can, shift forward and float that right leg up and over into eagle, where we started. And then on the next inhale, spread your graceful eagle wings wide, reach to that expansive sky, and come back into mountain pose, honoring the returning birds of spring. Pausing here for a moment, reflecting of all that spring is about to bring us. Reflecting on your intentions that you are drawing forth. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, we bow. Inhale, lift the heart, step the right foot back. Coming into our lunge. Now from here, begin to reach your fingertips as far to the top of your mat as you can as you float that right leg up like a dragonfly tail out behind you. Your standing leg is bent deeply, very similar to our flying dragon we did last week. Keep extending that dragonfly tail behind you as you reach your heart, reach your gaze, reach your fingertips. You might even bring hands to your heart center for the last breath or two, or you might keep your hands down on the floor. Go ahead and release down, step back, downward facing dog. Float your left leg high to the sky, open the groin after that compression. Float it back up again, left leg, same leg. And then as we float it up for the third time, option to open into fire hydrant, rolling the hip open, bending the knee, and opening that side body and that groin. Release that foot down, back into your downward facing dog. Take a breath or two. Step to the top of your mat with your right foot, moving into our flying dragon on our second side. So left leg floats up like a dragon tail. Standing leg stays bent as we reach our fingertips to the top of our mat and beyond. Extend your heart forward, lengthen your spine, lengthen your gaze. Keep floating that dragon tail up. Lengthening in opposite directions between foot and fingers. Maybe hands to your heart center for our balance before we finish. And our flying dragon. And then hands to the floor, float that foot back. Release right leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. Open up that groin after that compression. And let's do that 3 times. Inhale, right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, float it down. And on our third time, as we float right leg up, option to open into fire hydrant and really open that groin. Bring all the blood and fluids back into the groin and lymphatic tissue after that compression of our flying dragon. And then release down into downward facing dog. As you exhale, you can come down into child's pose. You can stay in down dog, or you can take a flow, lowering down however you wish to, finding your back bend, cobra, or up dog. Staying for a breath or two. And then exhaling child's pose, or perhaps you go straight to down dog. But remember, we're trying to find some yin within our yang throughout our practice here today. So creating heat, but also creating calm. On your next exhale, step, walk, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, rise, circle wide, reach to the sky. Hands to your heart center. Take a pause in your mountain pose again. Find that ease. Find that yin energy, that calmness. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, sit down, chair pose. And sit down low. Keep sinking in low chair. And with your sit bones as low to the ground as you can come, bring your elbows to press your knees together, press your palms together, and lift your heart as much as you can, almost like a praying mantis. Keep pressing knees together, pressing palms together, and lifting heart here. And then you have option to drop your hands to the mat and move into crow pose or play with crow pose. Or you can just come into Uttanasana or forward fold if you prefer. Crow pose is never my forte, but I still play, lifting one foot and then the other. Go ahead and do better. And then when we're ready, releasing the seat down to the floor. Extending both legs straight. Coming into Dandasana. Just sitting up nice and tall here. You can also sit on a blanket or a block. As we reach arms up to the sky, intertwine your fingers and press the palms up to the sky with this uplifting energy. So we're going to stay here for a few breaths. And if you can add a retention to the top of your inhale as you continue reaching up to the sky, do so. If that's not appropriate for you, just stay with the arms reaching up, lengthening up. And then as you exhale, next breath, release hands to your thighs and feel how long your spine feels and how effortlessly you float up in this seated L-shaped position. Go ahead and grab a block and have it handy. We're about to lay down onto our blocks. Knees are bent. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a hug. Rock from side to side. We're going to find some of that yin energy now after those heating poses. Release the feet to the floor. And just pause here. Feel all the feels, all the sensations from all those active heating poses that we just did. In fact, let's extend the legs long. Let the front body be open here for a few breaths in a little mini Shavasana before we move into our supine poses here. Just notice sensations. You might feel pulsations running through the front of your body. Maybe through your feet, your hands, your arms. I really notice this through my groin and front body in the lymphatic areas of the body. Now bending your knees, soles of the feet come back to the mat, hip width apart. So you have options for your bridge here. I'm going to offer a few options. You can come into your traditional bridge pose by lifting the hips high, intertwining your fingers. You can rise up high on your toes and lift a little bit higher. Or you can press into your heels, lift your toes, and assist the lifting of the hips higher. Now you can stay in traditional bridge for a little bit longer, or bring your block under your sacrum for supported bridge. Now today I've put my block in the highest position. Take the position that works best for you, depending wherever your highest height of bridge pose is. You can still intertwine your fingers underneath your bum on the outside of your block or around the front of your block. And whether or not you're in supported bridge or not, we're going to raise one leg. So draw your right leg in, your right knee in, and lift that leg up to the sky. Now, if you have your block on a lower position than the high end that I have mine on, it's a little teetery, you can actually lift both legs at the same time here into supported bridge. If you're on the high end or in not using a block for your bridge pose, we're only doing one leg at a time, and right now it's the right. So this is assisting lymphatic flow once again after all of those poses of heating and compression. Let's release right leg down if you're doing one leg at a time. Draw left knee in and extend that leg up to the sky. Finding some sensation of the yin energy within any effort of your bridge pose. And then slowly bend the knee, release that foot down. Take a pause here in your supported bridge with both feet down before we transition out of our bridge pose. And then slowly lift your hips a little bit higher, slide your prop out, and very slowly lower down. And place your block out of the way. Take a breath or two here. Again, just noticing the effect of that posture, that asana, your bridge pose. Finding some stillness, finding some softness. And now let's draw the right knee into the chest. Wrap your hands around shin or the back of your thigh. Keep the left leg bent with the foot grounded for the moment as we continue to draw that right knee in. We're going to progress through this nice and slow, no rush to get there. We're moving into half happy baby. So extend the sole of that right foot to the sky with the knee still bent. So you might use a strap to wrap around the sole of your foot if you can't easily reach it, or you might grab your ankle or your shin. But we're pressing the knee towards the floor or towards the armpit by drawing the foot down. So the shin is perpendicular to the floor and the sole of the foot is parallel to the ceiling. Hopefully that makes sense, or you can see what I'm doing. And don't push into the deepest position. Take a while to progress. And if it's right for you, you can extend your left leg straight to hover over your mat for a few breaths. And you can always go back to the first progression if the second progression or the third progression doesn't work. If you can go ahead and lower that left leg straight down to your mat. But if you find that your thigh is and your knee is bent, go back to the first progression of hovering or knee bent and sole of the foot down. If you've got your leg straight down on the mat, think of an elephant standing on that thigh, pressing it towards floor. And the right leg is still in your half happy baby. Again, if your right leg is high up off the floor, just move back to the variation previous rather than forcing. And again, find your yin. Now, right leg releases, foot comes to the floor, bend both knees, both feet ground. Just taking a pause before we move into our second side here. Again, just noticing, taking time to ground, to come to stillness and softness. And then draw your left knee in towards your chest, hands around your shin or the back of your thigh. Right knee still bent, right sole of the foot is still on the floor. We're progressing slowly, and you stop at the variation that is best for you. You don't have to progress, you can stay right here. So now we're moving into half happy baby with the left leg. So strap around the foot, hand around the outside of the foot or ankle or shin, and that sole of that left foot is parallel to the ceiling. The shin of the left leg is perpendicular to the floor, so as we press down on the foot, the knee moves towards the floor. And do it slowly, don't progress to your deepest immediately. If it feels right, go ahead and extend the right leg straight to hover. And you can stay here or the previous version if you wish. Now, if it's appropriate for you, slowly begin to lower the heel, the whole leg towards the floor, and then pressing the thigh down towards the floor. The knee is bent, the thigh is high. Come back to the hover or the sole of the foot down on the floor. This is very opening, and so not everybody is going to be in this third variation. Take the one that works for you. Remember, we're trying to find some ease of the yin energy in all of these poses here. Another breath or two here. And then slowly releasing that left leg, foot to the floor. Draw the right leg in, foot to the floor. Pause here. Let the sacrum sink. Let the feet be heavy. Feel all the sensations through the groin here. Again, we're working a lot with compression and release in the lymphatic tissue of the groin. If you wish, you can bring the soles of the feet together and drop the knees open into Supta Baddha Konasana. You might put a block or blanket or a bolster under your knees. We're not going to stay for too long. So just allowing the flow and the openness of the groin here for a few breaths. And then draw knees back to center. Bring your feet wide on your mat, as wide as they can go, right to the edges of your mat, and your arms wide. And now we're windshield washering our knees from side to side. And pause as you move into each side to really open through the groins and side body here. And this movement from side to side again helps to pump and move that lymphatic fluid through the body, as does the compression that we were just doing in many of our poses. So just linger on each side, moving to the next side as you feel ready. You can let your head turn to whichever side feels most comfortable for you. I like to move my head opposite my knees. And then you can also add a movement of the arms. The arm that is opposite of the knees can slide along the floor up overhead. So as your knees drop to the left, your right arm might reach up overhead and bring a little more length to the side body and that whole right side. And then as your knees drop over to the right, switch the arms, let the left arm reach up. And you might look left, you might look to center, or you might look in the same direction as your knees. Experiment as to how it changes sensations in the body and what feels best for you. And then when you feel even on both sides, come back to center, draw your knees in, rock from side to side. We're getting ready to move into our Shavasana. Release the soles of the feet down, lengthen the legs down, gather whatever props you need. Let your legs be long, let your heels be as wide as your mat. Let your arms come slightly away from your side body so that your palms can comfortably turn up to the sky to receive. And then bring your awareness to your breath. Let your breath flow in and out of the body gently like waves of the ocean, effortlessly, rising and falling. Allow your whole body to be open and expansive. And allow stillness for the next few moments as the body absorbs prana and the healing energy, the heat that you created in your practice through every cell of your body. And to bring a little bit of deeper breath into the body, bringing movement into the body. And when you're ready, rolling to your side into fetal position. And then slowly making your way up to a seat. Taking a few moments to find your seat for our meditation. Using props, sitting in a chair, whatever you need to do to be comfortable. And then take a moment to settle into this new position. Feeling grounded through the lower body. And lifted up through the spine, through the crown. And reconnecting to your breath. Sitting comfortably or lying down with eyes closed. Let's begin by becoming aware of the breath. Feel the breath as it enters with a cool feeling, and then warming as it gently travels down into the lungs. Fill the lungs with a deep inhale, bringing in energy, vitality, prana, the life force. As you exhale, feel the body releasing toxins, stress, and any negativity that has accumulated. Stay with this breath, focusing on the feeling of deep peace for 10 deep inhalations and exhalations. Continue counting your breath, bringing in energy on the inhale, vitality and prana, and releasing stress, negativity, toxins on the exhale. Now, wherever you are, release counting the breath and remain focusing on this feeling of deep peace as we move into alternate nostril breath. Beginning by blocking the right nostril as you inhale through the left for a count of 4. Pausing at the top of your breath. And then exhaling out the right nostril for a count of 4. Inhaling right to a count of 4. Pausing at the top and exhaling left. Inhaling left for 4. Pausing and exhaling right. Continue like this for the next few breaths. Complete one more full round of alternate nostril breath before releasing. And As you release your hand down, just take a moment with eyes closed to feel the energy that is in the body. Become aware of the warmth and tingling of every cell. Feel the energy that is in the extended environment, in every part of nature, and in every living thing. Bring all those energies together and feel them as one. Visualize all of that energy shining brightly as the sun. Bring the shining glow of bright energy over the crown of your head. Feel it starting to travel down into your body from the top of your head, slowly going down into your face, neck, down into the shoulders, all the way down into the arms, down to the fingers. Feel the healing energy and light going down into your chest, your torso, all the way down to your hips. Feel it continue traveling down your legs, all the way down to your toes. Your whole body now filled with divine healing light and energy. Now allow that healing energy to completely fill any physical area that needs healing energy. Feel it warming, healing, and expanding through the area. Allow the healing light to bring peace and healing to any emotional issues or traumas. And then bring your awareness to any intentions or desires that you may have. Hold the thoughts of those intentions or desires as you allow the healing energy to bring your deepest desires to life and your intentions into reality. Feel your connection to divine energy and light, and know that all is one. Stay with this deep, relaxing, peaceful feeling of bliss for the next few moments. And now slowly bring your hands to your heart center. Take a deep inhale, exhale out your mouth. And as we inhale to Om, feel the vibration shower through your entire body. Om. Namaste. See you next day.